So looks that those who drafted these scenarios were initially working on a scenario for a Hollywood blockbuster, and then the plans changed, and only a child or a very naive person can believe that 3 amateur divers are behind this blast. So those who promote this fairy tale want to create a smokescreen around confessions of US top officials in the sabotage of the Nord Stream, which are widely known. Actually, only one thing is clear. Germany has important information about this terrorist act, which it shares with journalists, but conceals from the Security Council. When we say that Germany must cooperate with the international community and disclose the information about its finding, it's not some kind of a wish, but it's something that it should do in line with its obligation under International Convention for the Suppression of Terrorist Bombings signed in 1998. And we hope that Berlin will heed this request and duly inform the Security Council about its findings in the nearest future. In any case, I want you to rest assured that Russia will not be misled and will not drop its efforts to ensure accountability for those who are behind this terrorist act. And we will also continue to insist on international transparent investigation under the auspices of the UN Security Council. And its necessity has become even more clear to us after what we have read in US and German media. Thank you very much.
Ambassador, will you call for a Security Council meeting on this, and how every other member states react to
the Nord Stream?
Yeah.
Of course, at some point we will bring it to the attention of the Security Council, most likely the open briefing. The reaction was very mixed. I think most country members are worried of the fact that everybody is speaking about this. This is kind of an elephant in the room which escapes the Security Council, strangely enough. And of course the Western countries are trying to imply that they still believe in the integrity and the professionalism of German investigation. They were saying the same things about the Swedish investigation and Danish investigation, and we remember that their only conclusion was that the Nord Stream was in fact blown up. That was the genial conclusion of this investigation. So we have serious doubts about it, but the question is not in this right now. The question is that Germany should share what it has so far with the Security Council. It's its obligation, and it's something that we expect to be done in the nearest future.
Mr. Ambassador, you've just said that Germany should share the results of its investigation with the Security Council. What other actions would Russia like to see in relation to the Nord Stream explosions?
Well, first of all, we don't find the findings that we can judge about them only through internet and through media. We don't find them plausible. It raises a lot of questions. Again, I told you that only a very naive person or a kindergarten child could believe in such a logic. That a rogue group of 3 divers, non-professional, blowing up this pipeline, and then only Zaluzhny is to blame, Zelensky is not to blame, Americans are offended, and still they supply arms to Ukraine, and still they support Kiev regime, and Zaluzhny is not dismissed, and he is ambassador to the UK. Again, this is kind of a Hollywood blockbuster, but not real world. So we have quite a lot of doubts about this. The only way to find out the truth, we believe it, is international investigation. We proposed at some point of time, you remember, draft UN Security Council resolution with questions to Secretary General on how to organize better such kind of investigation. We think that this should be the first stage, because we need truth, and of course we will afterwards seek accountability to those who are behind this attack. There should be absolutely no doubt about it.
Turning to another topic, have any of Western members of the Security Council provide any reaction to Ukrainian incursion in Kursk region?
You know, it's a very interesting question, because so far they are very timid and I would say inactive in this regard, because they feel clearly awkward about what's happening in Kursk. First of all, there is a almost unanimity in Ukrainian society and in Ukrainian few left unsuppressed media outlets in Ukraine that this is a big strategic blunder, and what's happening right now, it hasn't achieved any goals that were formulated, and you remember that these goals were the seizure of Kursk power plant and then attempts to bargain it with Russia, and also withdrawal of Russian detachments from the Eastern Front. So these things are not achieved. Evidently, Ukraine is losing ground very quickly in the Eastern Front. It loses the position which were fortified and which were maintained there since the Maidan coup, since 2014. And everybody is understanding that this is a very fatal scenario for Ukraine. So on the one hand. On the other hand, these events, they have shown quite clearly the true colors of the Kiev regime, because people are being killed, shops are being looted, pregnant women are being killed, the UAVs are being targeted to ambulances and to volunteers. Yesterday there were 2 volunteers killed. There are a lot of people in Nazi insignia and even Western journalists who illegally, by the way, entered the Russian Federation, which we condemned with Ukrainian troops. Even they cannot conceal this, so it proves that the roots of Nazism is very deep in the Ukrainian society. All this awkward setting, they create a very, very special atmosphere for our Western colleagues, and they are not opening their mouth so far because they are afraid that if they open their mouths and if they say something, they will be deadly compromised on the actions of the Ukrainian military. Of course, our society has consolidated. There are even more volunteers coming to the front, and I have absolutely no reasons to doubt that the followers of Nazis in Ukraine will have the same inglorious end as the followers of Hitler in Germany 80 years ago.
Ambassador, follow up. I'm just feel a little bit curious. You just mentioned an international investigation, and you think Russia would draft a resolution to take action.
Back on Nord Stream, yes.
Nord Stream, yes. So my question is, who do you think is capable, or which agency do you think is capable to lead this international investigation? And if you draft a resolution, do you expect it even to be adopted in the Security Council on this matter?
If this kind of resolution is not adopted, then of course it will testify of the unwillingness of those countries who will not support this resolution to seek justice and accountability, and it will of course point out to the weakness of Security Council and to inability to protect critical international infrastructure. It may really bears very serious consequences for international community and for international cooperation. If you recall our previous draft on the investigation on Nord Stream sabotage, we didn't prejudge the shape of the commission, the agency, all these things. We wanted the advice of Secretary General, his recommendations to the Council of how better to proceed. We specifically did it this way because we didn't want to force anybody into anything. We wanted another discussion before we could set up this international commission, which should be trusted the whole support of the international community. But we didn't even come this way, and still at this moment we are stuck when Western colleagues are saying the investigation is going on, we should wait for the results, but everybody knows about these results. Allegedly, we don't know whether it's true or not. Everybody except the Security Council. What kind of situation is this? This is some kind of disrespect of the key body that is responsible for international peace and security. And this disrespect happened with a clear incitement from our Western colleagues. That's what I have to state.
Mr. Ambassador, there's been a lot of surprise internationally that the Ukrainian incursion into Kursk has lasted so long and, according to the Ukrainians, taken more and more territory. What's your response to that in terms of both the surprise and the extent of the incursion?
Well, I'm not a military man, I'm not a military strategist. I have some historic background, that's true. I can recall to you, for example, 80 years ago there was a surprise German Wehrmacht operation in the Western Front. It was called Ardennes operation. Everybody was also in Germany saying that this is a turn in the war, but this was a strategic plot by the Allies, and the German army was defeated, and it had bared very serious consequences. I think that the Ukrainian dictator also will regret it very much, and there will be, of course, consequences for Ukraine, fatal consequences maybe. But the decision is made, and I think also that the whole country is regretting this move right now, except for Zelensky and his clique. Okay? Thank you very much.